Hey guys, so Ludia just announced next week's featured creatures on their Twitter, and um, it's well, there's no way to sugarcoat it. It's pretty bad. It's very, very disappointing. It's probably among the it's up there for the worst weeks of for the featured creatures. You know, you could compare this to last week's Flyer Week or the Secodontosaurus Week. It's very underwhelming. Um, oh well. Let's just go over the dinos real fast for those of you who don't know. So on Monday, Tuesday, we got 24 attempts on Lythronax and Majungasaurus, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 30 attempts on Carno, Magidasuchus, Mega, Sanghariptus, and Tubodactylus, and then Saturday, Sunday, 9 attempts on Conch, Rada, and Pteranodon. So, uh, yeah, these are pretty bad. Obviously, it's a counterattack theme. Um, Yikes. Oh, but I mean, the reason why next week is bad is probably mainly due to the epics. The epics are very underwhelming. I mean, well, those are the counterattacking epics, but they're not really good. They're not really good. They're not. Uh, Obviously, Conk and Pteranodon doesn't have hybrids, and then Rajasaurus makes a really bad hybrid. Um, the other dinos that have hybrids, Lythronax, sure, it has a hybrid. But that thing has been spawning all over the place for the last 3 weeks. So I don't think anyone's super short on that. Although it's not. I mean, it's not horrible to get more of. Majungasaurus does make a hybrid. Not that great of a hybrid. For the rares, Carno doesn't have anything. Magindasuchus, don't dart that. Megalosaurus has a hybrid. It's okay-ish, but the problem with Megalosuchus right now is the Capro DNA. Because if you are making a Megalosuchus, you are taking away Capro DNA from Spinotosuchus, which is one of the best dinos in the game. Megalosuchus isn't bad. Spinotosuchus is just, extraordinarily good. And then the two flyers. We just had a flyer week. It looks disappointing, but Sanghariptus doesn't have a hybrid. Not that great a standalone dino. Tubodactylus, that thing's everywhere. Has a hybrid. Hybrid's not that fantastic. So yeah, next week it's a very down week. So I mean, obviously we just had before the flyer week we had a few weeks of really good stuff, but looks like we're getting 2 weeks of very disappointing stuff, it looks like. So, anyways, if you really want my recommendations, for the commons, I'd say I'd put Lythronax over Majungasaurus a bit, since at least Gripelith, as much Lythronax DNA as we might have at the moment, Gripelith would require a lot of Lythronax DNA, so there's that. And Majungasaurus makes Majungasaurus. Majungasaurus isn't that great unless you really need, unless you're having problems in like really low arenas with Indominus Rex, which shouldn't really be happening. But if you do have those problems, you could do Majungasaurus, I guess. Although there are, as good as of a counter Majungasaurus is to Indominus Rex, there are better counters. Mega, higher level Stegotius, among other things. So that's for the commons. For the rares, Ega maybe. I mean, if you really want to bank on Carno having a hybrid, sure you could go for Carno, since if you're not in local 3, probably not too easy to get Carno. Majunasukas, do not go for this one at all, unless you're max level, because if you're going for Majunasukas for the rares, you're just missing out on really cheap EXP. As you guys probably know, rare hybrids, fusing rare hybrids is the best way to get a gain EXP, and obviously Majunasukas is the rare hybrid, so don't dart that thing, just fuse for it. If you really want Majunasukas, go for, the common Majungasaurus and then Ninasukas, instead of straight up darting Majunasukas, unless you're already level 20 and don't really care about EXP. But, if you're level 20, you probably don't need Majunasukas, right? So maybe, either Tupendactylus or Megalosaurus, Carno if you really want to bet for that hybrid, although I don't see a Carno hybrid coming anytime soon. Sungryptus, the chance of that thing having a hybrid is very, very, very slim. I'd say almost 0% chance of it having a hybrid, so I wouldn't go for that. Unless you haven't unlocked it, but we just had a flyer week, so you probably have already unlocked it if you haven't, since this thing doesn't spawn in the wild, so sure, you could go for that and unlock it if you just want to complete your collection, which is okay. And then, yeah, I'd say Megalosaurus over Tupendactylus. Tupendactylus, you could see it everywhere, it's a coolable spawn if you really want. Diamondactylus, not that hard to get. Megalosaurus, not that hard of a rare to get either, although it's bound to local, but it's an all-day local, so like your other all-day local Strict Rex, it's not the hardest to get. It's decently hard to get, but yeah, Megalosaurus. For the Sunday Epic Dinos, I don't know. Either of them aren't great, but you could go for either one of the three. Obviously, the only one that has a hybrid here is Rhodosaurus, but the hybrid kind of sucks at the moment. But they could buff it in the future. So if you guys want to play it safe, then I'd say go for Rhodosaurus. The other two don't have a hybrid, but they could have a hybrid in the future. I mean, if you're really low on these two, the other two DNA, and you think they could get a hybrid, then maybe go for them. Otherwise, I'd just stick to Rhodosaurus, as bad as Rajakylo is at the moment. It could very well get a buff in the future. Like, it has potential to get better. They've been working on buffing it, but it's always had some trouble. I mean, I don't think Rajakylo itself isn't too big of a problem. Unlike Raja's biggest problem is itself. But Rajasaurus is Rajakylo is more of a victim of the meta. I'd say, although it does have problems itself, obviously, its moves are all buffing moves that could be nulled, so it could just totally get shut down by null. But, other things, the fan-shouting dinos, which are very prominent in this meta, bleed, which a lot of people do run. Like, even other things, the stunning dinos take it, like, everything just takes the thing out, except for tanks. And there are just straight up better tank buster dinos that, that deal with tanks. So, Rajakylo doesn't really have a place at the moment. Rajakylo needs time. It needs like one meta where its counters aren't just running everywhere. And that's really hard to happen. But Raja does have a chance. They just need to get rid of Swab and Frosty. They really need to get rid of Swab and Frosty. Swab and Frosty just makes Raja weaker. Just give it like Ferocious Strike or whatever instead. Swab and Frosty just breaks the whole thing. It makes it super vulnerable. It makes it very, very situational. Although very strong in the situation, but very, very situational. So, yeah. That's next week's Dinos. Not really good, unfortunately. We still have Fallen Kingdom in the data mine. The Fallen Kingdom week with 12 Rex attempts and Gallimimus attempts and the Indoraptor attempt. So that could still be coming. It could be next week. Or not next week, the week after next week, I guess. It could pull us closer to an update timeline, but who knows? I don't even know anymore. This is a very bad week. I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tell me how you feel about this week, because, you know, some people might, if you're not going for Trico, if you're not going for Enkentro, not going for Spondisuchus, like, there's a lot of ifs to make this week very useful to you. So, I don't know, guys. Just tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.